Did you want to play some Prankiness? See,
Kick-ass.
over your Steam band. Because I'm not this Bluetooth, it doesn't work. Can we use this wire mouse? Oh yeah, I can do that. Okay. You can use this wire mouse and then you use your headphones with that. Thank you.
I'm dragging you in here because I wrote this shit for you.
You wrote this for me? Awesome.
Yeah, the thing I wrote today, I wrote for you.
Oh dear.
So you better fucking appreciate it.
Uh-oh. I'm humbled already. I'm sorry I caused you work.
You look okay now.
I look okay now?
Yeah, you look okay now.
I look fat. Gotta go on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, please. That's not...
You even called me big. I remember it.
No, definitely not. I'm bigger than you are.
It doesn't mean I'm not big, though. It's just...
I'm much bigger than you
are. Morgan, you already admitted you might have issues. I really don't want to encourage them.
Look, I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, here's how fat I am. I ate a Waffle House for dinner.
Here's my bottled water.
I ate
way too much yogurt. Yogurt and veggies. It's about all I do anymore. Because I'm lazy.
Okay, so I did the 7 Mountain Man.
Oh, you did the 7 Mountain thing?
Yes, I told you I was going to do it, so I did the 7 Mountain Man thing for you. And okay. Dana's in this chat. So Dana, I quoted a bunch of Greek and Hebrew to prove my fucking point about it and how fucked up it is and why it's bullshit.
I have one started. Believe it or not.
But I'm shopping another co-host, so we're gonna see if I can get anybody at random. We're gonna see if I can get somebody random. Because I always pull a Wendy. I love random people.
Well, random people are fun.
Well, I mean, I dragged you in at random. By the way, I have to tell you, some dude sent me a text, sent me a Substack DM.
Okay.
And he mentioned your name.
Oh dear.
And so I wanted.
What'd I do?
Here you go. Tom Jode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I found him from Lady Liberty.
Oh, so he was a Lady Liberty person?
Yeah, Lady Liberty shared him. And I told him that you were one of many people who have been friendly to me on here. That's all that is. If you say anything more than that, it's making us sound cool.
I don't know. I mean, I just told him. I'm like, you should
come.
Yeah,
I told him that you had been helpful, and I told him that there are a few people, because he's like, how do you get people to follow you? And I'm like, well, I've had several creators who've been nice to me, and I named you and Lori Corbett Mann, and said, I have a few people who've been.
Lori Corbett, I want to have her on. Do you think you can work that out for me?
I don't know. She and I have talked a lot. She's in England,
Yeah.
So it'd be
that
would
have to be like a midday thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, so I have to ask. So, because we have Krager's, kiss my ass. Just Krager's, be quiet.
My phone isn't. My internet's still being funky.
Okay, so here's the question. So I was talking with another reader today.
Uh-huh.
And there are stories that I will not tell on the live session.
Okay.
And there's a reason why I won't tell them on the live session. And so here's the thing. If you're in the chat and you're a paid subscriber, or you're thinking about becoming a paid subscriber, the question is, you know what, Amber? I mean, yes, I'm a pagan. If you're a paid subscriber, or you would think about being a paid subscriber, here's the question. Question becomes, would you join a Zoom session to listen to me tell the deep personal stories that I won't share on the live session.
I think it doesn't even have to be a Zoom. I think you can actually do a live session and limit who gets to participate.
No.
Substack.
I'm talking like I have enough paid subs that I have over 100 paid subs. My paid sub count is like 193.
If they, if that's something they'd be interested in.
So yeah, the
As
question.
somebody who sometimes worries about not having enough money for food for the end of the month, I'm unfortunately someone who doesn't pay for much. But
Well, I admire your opinion enough. I'd let you join.
if it was something, as far as if it wasn't you, if it was somebody I was subscribed to, and it was, hey, you can know this special story about me if you pay. I don't know. It depends on what the story'd be about. Because
all right, well, I'll give you one. I'll give you one for example that I would tell everybody.
Okay.
But it's really bad.
Oh.
Yeah,
Trigger warning bad or amusing bad? Is it trigger warning bad or amusing bad?
No, it's amusing bad.
Okay.
It's amusing bad. So, as I, again, am seeking a random host. As I am seeking a random host.
I've never seen Lewis Fish before.
Well, I just hit Lanice Gilly because I've never seen Lanice Gilly, and so I just attempted to send Lanice Gilly an invite. We're gonna see. But anyway, so here's the story. I am a huge prankster.
Okay.
I love practical jokes. So when I was in college at Georgia Tech, okay, the dean of students and I did not get along.
Okay.
At all. We didn't get along. And so, wait, we have to find out if I can. We have to find out if I can get Aaron in here because Aaron needs to hear this story. Aaron needs to hear this story.
When you tell some of your stories, my own personal experience makes me kind of wonder. I actually have been married 3 times.
Right.
My first husband only lasted 9 months. He quit his job and wouldn't work for a living after it. And I really I wanted to be able to have a baby and be able to stay home a few months before I went back to work. And with a husband who wouldn't work for a living, that wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, well,
Hello.
I got the next best thing. I got the second best thing. I got away.
Okay.
The second best.
I know.
What
Isn't
kind of
that
shit is
terrible?
that? If
Right.
I'm not number one, y'all can go fuck
Look,
yourself.
there's Aaron now. You're gonna get rid of
No,
me
I know, but I
or
already got
Lane?
Lane, so now we're just gonna go with it. But that means
Okay.
that means Aaron can hear the story.
Okay, that's good.
I know I'm gonna tell the story and she's gonna laugh. And she's gonna laugh so hysterically that it would be fun to watch her laugh. But we're gonna miss this. All right, anyway, so here it is. So I am a huge prankster. So when I was at Georgia Tech, the dean of students and I did not get along. And there's a reason for this. So the dean of students' son was the president of the fraternity of which my fraternity was a rival. And I want to be clear, I was a TKE in college.
Oh, okay.
So
I was what I heard about Teeks in
I
college.
was the treasurer of my fraternity. And so the Kappa Alpha president and the T treasurer, me, we hated each other. And the reason for that was we were both dating the same girl at the same time.
Oh.
So here's the deal. Yeah, Morgan, if I could get Sinmac to come into the live, I would tell the story and watch Sinmac laugh. But I've tried to invite Sinmac a few times. But Sinmac became a paid sub today, so I was very
awesome.
Anyway, so here's the deal. We were dating the same girl. So my friend Bubba and I were roommates, and Bubba and I worked at a gentleman's club for extra money. And you know what I mean by a gentleman's club, right?
Okay.
So here's the deal. One of the strippers that we knew at the Cheetah knew a guy who was a male dancer, and he was into the BDSM leather scene.
Okay.
And so Edward, 100%. So here's where it gets fucked up. So I said, can you call the guy and can we coax him into something? And he said, yeah, we could do it. And so we did. We called the guy, and the guy was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, how much you want to do this? And he's like, I don't know. I'd do it for $200 or $300. And I'm like, oh, that's totally worth it. So Johnny, who was the Kappa Alpha president, the house he lived in the fall and springtime, he always left the windows open. So we hired the guy to go over in stud leather outfit. So he had like the stud leather harness and the BDSM biker hat and the leather chaps. And we told him, we're like, look, you're going to go in there, and this guy is a real brat. He's mouthy. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. And so I had a friend who worked in the media center, and we got a bunch of media center gear. And so we had a camera set up right outside his room. So the guy walked in there in his like jumpsuit or whatever, took his jumpsuit off, and sure enough, he had the big fucking leather harness with the collar and the hat and all that. And then he sat down on Johnny's bed. And Johnny walked in. We got all this on tape, by the way, because we had a camera like right outside his room. And so he walked in like he'd been in the shower or whatever, and the guy was sitting there, and the guy was like, okay, little boy, come over here and sit down. And Johnny looked at the guy and was like, who the fuck are you? I won't go into much more specific than that, but Johnny got spanked like 5 times that night. So it got back to the dean of students that maybe I was the one that was responsible for that prank. And he dragged me into his office and gave me a stern scolding about. So I got pissed off, and he had this black, brand new Mercedes S-Class coupe.
Oh, wow.
And this was in 92, many years before keyless entry happened. And I got 3 pennies, and I super glued pennies over the door locks of his car. And then
Let me try joining you.
I may have gone to a payphone and reported the car as stolen to the police. And he may have gotten pulled over like 2 or 3 days later. 2 or 3 days later, and got arrested and spent the night in jail. And the dean of students may then have dragged me into his office and asked me if I knew anything about it, and I said no. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So those are stories that I would never tell in a live, like I just did right fucking now.
Like you just did.
Like I just did right now. So the question is, if I did a Zoom session where I told all the stories that I won't tell in a live session like I just did, would people join? And I think the answer is yes. And so I may do that in the future. So if you see a Zoom link pop up in the chat or whatever,
Okay.
you probably want to join it, and there's a good reason why. There's probably a good reason why, but okay. Well, we have a bunch of people here, so yay. So I wrote your fucking article.
Okay. For some reason, your articles aren't showing up when I go to your main page. No posts come up that way for some reason. Maybe it has to be, I have to go down another page, I guess.
Yeah, I like if you go into the politics path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I have to figure out how to set mine up this way because I'm getting a lot of craziness in here over the years as I go already.
Right.
Only been a couple months.
So the article is 7 theology.
Right.
So, Elaine, do you understand what the 7 mountain mandate is?
Well, no, the first thing I thought when I heard you mention that was 7-story mountain, which is but I read and yeah, it sounds nuts.
Yeah,
I grew up in a church that dealt with that.
Mm-hmm.
so the 7 mountain mandate is the framework for Project 2025.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the whole idea is the iteration of Christian dominionism.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian dominionism is a really disgusting thing to talk about. It here, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of what Christian dominionism is. So, basically, the movement creates a biblical mandate to subdue society and have dominion over it, and the purpose is to exacerbate the second coming of Christ. And so extreme Christians believe that the 7-man mandate will ultimately lead to Christ's second coming. Yeah,
Hasted the second coming.
Yeah.
right.
They're pretty much trying to make prophecy happen since it's not happening fast enough for them on its own.
Exactly. And the parallel for that, just so that we're clear, is that is exactly what Muslim jihadists do.
Mm-hmm.
Muslim jihadists
It's
believe
Christian jihad.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, right. Because Muslim jihadists believe that jihad is not happening fast enough, and they need to kill people to make jihad, worldwide jihad, happen faster. Which I don't know. I mean, like when you compare that to like all of the other religions, why can't we just have a Ragnarok? Why can't we worship Norse gods and have Ragnarok? Because Ragnarok doesn't give us. Right, Elaine. Yeah, Elaine. It is completely misogynistic. So, the 7 mountain mandate is designed to do that. And so the 7 mountains: religion, family, education, government, media, arts, and business. And all of those pillars and the dominion of all of those pillars is why the 7 mountain mandate is happening, because they think if they take dominion over all of that, it will cause Christ to suddenly appear. Yeah, right, Edward. Can they free Jesus? I don't know. So,
well, I've been thinking a lot about it because, like I said, I grew up in it, and I did not, because early on in like the 70s, every single sermon they would take current events, try to map it onto Revelation, and usually it wouldn't. So it sounded crazy, and they was telling me that showed that Jesus was coming, and then they'd hold a 20-minute altar call where they'd either get so hungry they finally give up, or someone came forward because they just wanted to get out of church. And that was church in the 70s. And we didn't hear about all of the love part. I had not heard prophecy where it says care of widow, poor, and orphan until I was in my 40s. It was all about you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in Jesus. And the end of days is any time now. And when you start people with that amount of knowledge, it's easy to manipulate them into stupidity because they're afraid to open their Bibles and read it anyhow.
Well, in the church I grew up in, we had divine revelation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you grew up RLDS, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So you go to church, you go to prayer meeting on Wednesday night. And this wasn't in every RLDS congregation. It was the one that I attended when I was in high school, though. And my parents attended a different congregation because this one was too conservative even for them. But I was going to a Christian high school where most of the kids were Mormon or RLDS or whatever, and I wanted to go to church with my friends. So, but yeah, you'd be during prayer meetings, sooner or later, somebody would get up during testimonies and
Mm-hmm.
start talking, and pretty soon, oh, thus saith the Lord, and everything that came out of their mouth after that was supposed to be God speaking through them.
Mm-hmm. And then you're supposed to
How
check
can
it
you,
against scripture, which no one
how
ever
can you trust
did.
anything that someone says if they're saying that God is speaking through them? And uh, blew up in their face quite a bit. Not the church, but a lot of the people that I knew from back then
Oh,
were
yeah.
connected to the Jeffrey Lundgren cult.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
You might
The
I might
family
know
that
some similar people then, actually.
the family that he killed had been,
Oh,
I knew them from the time they were first married, and I remember when all their little daughters were born, and by the time they left Independence to follow him to Ohio, I was, like 20 and didn't care anymore, but hadn't gone to church with them or anything, but in a long time. But yeah, I mean, it's just there were a lot of people that were in my social circle during high
mm-hmm.
school, the couple of years after that were at least adjacent to that. Not everybody followed him to Ohio, but several of them did.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the
Well,
concept of Christian dominionism, as it relates to the Seven Mountain Mandate, now, it's not the first time that's happened. I mean, Christian dominionism and Christian Reconstructionism, that happened as a result of the Spanish Inquisition.
oh, really?
Yeah, you can view the Spanish Inquisition as an attempt at Christian dominionism,
Oh,
although
wow.
at the time, the 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 um the the Spanish Inquisition, was really Catholic monarchs that were wielding Christian power wildly, and they decided they wanted to persecute people.
mhm.
But at its core, that's the same concept. Really, I hate to say this, but the Crusades fall into that category as well. But specifically, Christian dominionism as an attempt to exacerbate. I'll get to that, Eileen. I have a thing about that. The way to defeat the Seven Mountain Mandate is essentially,
There's a few things.
well, the Bible. The
Yeah.
Bible is the way that you stop it, because here's the thing:
It's
the
a
biblical
heresy.
text, yeah, the biblical text with the Tanakh and the Greek interlinear in their original languages do not support this at all. It's bullshit.
Neither do and is anything out of the prophets, neither do the words of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like they skipped all of it and they'd read Genesis and Revelation and guessed what was in the middle. Is about the best way to describe their theology.
So the first person to try to do it was Calvin.
Yeah, there's some
Um,
Calvinism in it for sure.
and so John Calvin's Geneva Consistory was really the
Mhm.
first attempt at Christian dominionism. And I mean, he had an iron grip. Like that entire region, like if you got caught sleeping with someone out of wedlock, they would kill you. They
Which is
literally would kill you.
what
Um,
Rushdoony opposes too.
those religious laws were so visceral and so difficult. Oh, Beth, it was good to see you. Thanks for coming by. That which is one of the reasons why Calvin's attempt at at Christian doctrine did not start off particularly well. Well, the second time that it happened was Rushdoony's, so R.J. Rushdoony,
Mm-hmm.
and so his it's called the Chalcedon Foundation.
Chalcedon Foundation. They still
Yeah,
exist too.
yeah, and then basically his iterative was it was a furnace. Throw everything that's not Christian ruling and misogynistic and shit into the furnace and burn it all because it's bullshit.
He actually got really popular in part because he was a proponent for segregation. And
Yeah.
that's why he really appealed to people like Jerry Falwell, who was fighting to not let Black people into Liberty University at the time. So they took him and ran with it because he supported their position.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just did not. It did not work. And Rushdoony's problem was his approach. His approach to Christian dominionism failed. What it was his son-in-law Gary North.
Mhm, Gary North.
Okay,
Yep.
so that was when the rebellion experienced a schism because they disagreed over something, and half the movement went one way and half the movement went the other. And so around I think 81 or 82, they never spoke after that, by the way. Like Rushdoony and his son-in-law Gary, who were prominent members in the uh, in the Dominion movement that Rushdoony was trying to push in the
And
60s
Francis
and
Schaeffer.
70s. Yeah, they never talked again, and so as a result, that entire attempt at Christian dominionism failed utterly, and in such a way that it just was like, Rob, see, that's exactly the point.
It is.
The point is, yes, we're seeing that now again. The Vaught and Miller and all these other fuckheads are all trying to push Christian dominionism as an attempt to create a Christo-ethno state where they can basically get rid of whoever the fuck they want.
A lot of the anti-abortion protesters are actually Christian fundamentalists, and abortion is just part of their shopping list.
How they got them into the movement, actually.
And they're not harassing
there and said, "You're
patients.
killing innocent little babies." And they got people to join them, and then they taught them the rest of the mess.
They're on college campuses all the time.
Oh, yeah.
With their signs saying, that you're going to go to hell if you don't. And they've actually been, I'm trying to remember whether it's KU or Johnson County Community College. They're actually supposed to be banned from campus there, but the Student Christian organization has asked them to be there. And so the school isn't going to push the ban because they don't want to be accused of suppressing anyone's freedom of speech.
Right.
No.
But I mean, it's the abortion issue, the LGBTQIA issue.
Yep.
Those are not, I mean, originally the Christian churches that became the quote unquote moral majority in the 70s, they got started because they were racists.
Right,
They didn't
exactly.
want schools integrated. They didn't want, the kids to have to, and that was their first big issue, was the civil rights issue that they got involved with. And in the 70s, they started getting involved because of Roe versus Wade.
Right.
And
chose it specifically to get allies.
So anyway.
Right. So here's the thing, though. That it won't work. It literally will not work. And here's why. That kind of movement requires a sustainable, consistent effort. Here's what happens with those things. So this is what happened with Rushdoony. The same thing happened to Calvin. People got up to like this point, and then people in the movement started to disagree. I mean, you see that with churches.
You see it all the time in churches.
Yeah. When you see, here in Georgia, the big thing was PCUSA, which is the large Presbyterian diocese. That entire diocese split in half because the main body wanted to ordain women. And there were people in the PCUSA that said, no, I don't want a woman as pastor. Fuck you, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And so they had a schism, and one half of the PCUSA went one way and the other half went the other.
Well, I mean, we're always teasing the womb sniffers on Saturday mornings because half of them are Catholic, and they buddy up to each other. When if you get them apart, one of them will tell you, "Well, they're praying to Mary. That's wrong. They shouldn't do that." And the other half is like, "Oh, we pray the rosary for them every night."
Here's what I love about Catholics. When Catholics, and if anybody is in the chat is Catholic and you're offended by this, I apologize, but I'm just going to be dead honest. And that is this. I love Catholics, and I love when Catholics approach me from a dogma perspective, because get this, most Catholics don't read the Bible at
I
all.
was just going to say, yeah.
And
I
so,
read the Matthew chapter 6 about not standing out on the street corner, and and I'm like, I know you guys have never heard this in your fucking lives because you haven't read the Bible. But
well, no, here's the thing about that. Like, yeah,
Mm.
it's they're, I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. Catholics are biblically fucking stupid. And here's why. The only Bible they've read is the liturgy. And the liturgy is like their 25 bookmarks in the Bible or whatever. And so, yeah, Eileen confirms that. They were barely taught biblical dogma. And so when you start touching on areas that they've never been around, or you start talking about Gnostic works or the apocryphal works or whatever, they get confused and they're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm like,
Mhm.
really? Because
Well,
here, I'll give you the book and I'll show you where what I'm telling you is right. And then you can tell me. And then you do that. And that's when Catholics are infamous for doing
mhm,
this. You're trying to read a text that was never meant for you.
mhm.
God is specifically confusing you to not be able to read that text. And I look at those
Mhm.
people and go,
I mean,
really?
excuse me, a couple of years ago, we started my clinic defense group. We did several actions at churches. Like this one protester who's there all the time was renting the pulpit from a Baptist church in town. So we made up signs that said, Kevin Myers, that's his name. Kevin Myers harasses women. And we picketed his church for like 5 or 6 Sundays. Eventually he got run out of the pulpit there and had to go someplace else. There was another guy that was is a minister of music at a different church. And we had signs made up that said Clifton Bogie harasses women, stood out in front of his church for 3 or 4 weeks. And he got, he eventually wound up going somewhere else. So, I mean, that's what people are going to have to do to these fucking Christo-fascists is make it cost them something, make it embarrass them somehow, let people know what they're doing when they're not sitting in church.
Let them know what they really believe.
Yeah.
Because right now they are assuming that they're just, typical Christians. And it's like actually much of their stuff is not faith-based.
Mhm.
It's, political. It has nothing to do with the Bible at all.
Mhm.
And it's dangerous on top of that.
Mhm.
And that's what really bugs me is that it's so doggone dangerous because people like, well, it says that we have to take over the country for God. No, it says that nowhere. There is no place in the Bible where it says, go take over your country for God. Doesn't happen.
It does, and that's the thing, Edward. Biblically, it doesn't make sense. And here's why. Example. I love this. There is no biblical rapture. The
No.
rapture, from a biblical perspective, no, doesn't appear anywhere in the text. It's not in the Talmud. It's not in the Tanakh. It's not in the Greek Interlinear. It's not in any of the Gnostics. It's not in the Apocrypha. It's nowhere. Literally, the reason that people believe in the rapture is because in 800 AD or whatever, it was either Aquinas. I think Aquinas was one of the first people to reference the rapture,
20.
and then people fucking believed it, and that's why it exists, which makes it bullshit. It literally is a ginormous hunk of steaming bullshit. The rapture, that pre-tribulation rapture, even that's bullshit. It's not in the Bible anywhere. Good luck proving that to me. You'll never find it.
May I answer esoteric?
Yeah, I literally will challenge a Christian. Oh, you believe in the pre-tribulation rapture, that at some point all the good Christians are going to come off of the earth and go up into heaven, and all of us non-believers are going to be stuck down here. And you believe that? Where in the Bible is that? Go find that for me. Right.
Mhm.
It's just okay, fine. But there are a large number of post-biblical writing
Mhm.
ideas that exist that are not biblical, and people fucking believe it. And
Esoteric said something about Mormon missionaries who drank tea with mescaline in it. If you offered them tea and drank it, they weren't missionaries. They were just coming by to get into your stash. I'm sorry.
Well, that's true too. They don't drink hot
No
caffeinated
hot or cold
beverages.
drinks. No tea,
No
no coffee,
caffeine.
no cigarettes, no alcohol,
Nope.
and raw vegetables and fruits as much as possible. Actually,
No
that's
meat.
not a bad. That's not a bad way to. That's not a bad diet to follow.
There's
But
one word of wisdom even that says no meat except for during famine or when you're sick or something like that, isn't there?
um, there's there's arguments over what the word of wisdom means there, because some people say it means they should not be limited. You should be able to eat meat whenever you want to.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of Mormons don't eat meat in the summertime, I guess.
Right.
So, I guess that would make sense too, though, because you'd have back in before we had modern refrigeration,
Right.
it was probably uh, dangerous to sometimes to.
If there's also, there's a lot more stuff to eat in the summer with fruits and vegetables around compared to in the winter when you don't have as much unless you've got a lot canned and so forth.
Yeah, my parents tried really hard to do the no coffee and tea, and then we caught them sneaking it into the postum jar. It's like, oh man,
Yeah. My
dad's like, fuck that. Well, he didn't say that, but
I love to trick Mormons into drinking coffee.
How do you do that?
What?
How do you do that?
Oh, I actually managed to do it once. I actually managed to do it once. So I've said this before. Like when the Jehovah's Witnesses come to my house,
Mm-hmm.
I'll invite them in. I'll let them sit down and have their say. And and one time I had like 2 or 3 bottles of those Frappuccino, like the creamy Frappuccino deal or whatever from Starbucks. And I cracked one of those open, poured it into a coffee cup, and handed one to a Mormon mercenary kid. He had no idea what the fuck it was, and he started drinking it, and I just tried to sit there and keep a straight face. Trying to sit there and get, but then I'll say this. My very dear friend, Drea's her name. She's an ex-Mormon. And so I and she was a fundamental ex-Mormon. And so I asked her, I'm like, look, I just want to know, so, because I've never known this, is soaking really a thing? And apparently it is. Do you know what soaking is?
You explained it to me before.
How is that not violating the bonds of?
Well, all right, but let's be fair. It's not just Mormon kids that try and do that shit. I mean, how many just plain old garden variety? It's not really sex if he doesn't come inside, or if it's with his hand, or like that.
If you're in bed and you put it in, and then somebody shakes the bed, and the bed shaking causes the reaction to happen, I hate to break it to you, you're done.
Well, no, I know. It's just I don't.
Esoteric. I know all about the chick metal band Dogma. They're I follow them on YouTube. Their shows are hilarious. Completely, yeah, soaking. I don't get it. But here's the other thing. Like she told me, she was like, but what a lot of Mormon kids do is they run off to Vegas. Like when Mormon kids hit between like 19 and 20, 21 or whatever, they run off to Vegas, and then they go and they have a good time, and then they get married, and then the next day they go to the courthouse to divorce, and they go to the quickie wed, and then they fuck around for a day or whatever, and then they get divorced, and then they leave Vegas because everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that's how they that like Mormon loopholes. And so, but I remember asking a Mormon one time, um, in a conversation. I remember saying, uh, "Which would you rather do? Drink a cup of what is it?" I asked him, "Drink a cup of coffee or have 5 minutes with Joseph Smith. And he literally looked at me with a straight face and said, I'd rather have 5 minutes with Joseph Smith over one cup of coffee. Are you fucking kidding me?
Probably very well indoctrinated.
Well,
Wow.
unless a marriage takes place in a Mormon temple, you're not sealed.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
a
not-
lot of Mormons get married someplace else and then go to the temple later because one or the other of them could not get a temple recommend before, so they weren't,
Right.
they
Right.
weren't able to be married in the temple.
Right.
But I'm presuming that if you were just married, civilly or whatever, and you weren't sealed, then there'd be no problem with you getting divorced and getting married again, as long as you were only sealed once. So,
Right.
which is another sexist thing because that really only applies to women. Men can be sealed to more than one woman.
Right.
Right.
So,
Actually, the Baptist pastor that was teaching me in Colorado taught polygamy. He said the only reason men can't marry more than one woman is because they have to follow the laws of the country. And other than that, there's nothing at all biblically wrong. The only thing is, if you are married to more than one woman, you cannot serve in leadership in the church. They
Right.
pulled that out of Paul. But he said, and he also said that you can, as a married man, have sex with unmarried women, however many you want. Because if you get caught, you have to marry them. But nobody complains since they are not someone else's wife. You're not committing adultery if you have sex with other women. You only have adultery as a male if you have sex with a married woman.
That's right.
Lady Liberty, I was in the Denver metro area for about 10 years.
Oh, you were in Denver?
Yeah.
We were in Denver like 5 months ago.
I lived in Denver in the 1990s.
Wow. Yeah, the elevation sickness. I didn't like that.
Yeah, you feel pretty bad for a while. That's for sure. I was up in Coal Creek Canyon when I first got there, which is over 8,000 feet. So,
Well, she felt like she was going to hurl for half the time that she was there.
when you're at a higher altitude like that, is it cooler or warmer than it is on the
It's
plane?
actually,
it's cooler because the humidity usually isn't as bad.
yeah.
Though I tell you, when I was in the desert area in this daytime, it was still pretty hot because the sun was so intense. But it got really cold at night fast too. So
I've never been to. I mean, I've flown through it. I've gone through Stapleton Airport or whatever, but I've never visited Colorado.
I've flown it into DIA. Stapleton was done by the time I started flying out of Colorado. So I've never been to Stapleton. But DIA was a trip.
So, Eileen, to answer your question, thinking about the double standard and slut shaming, with restrictionist movements, they demand biblical patriarchy. So, in demanding biblical patriarchy, that means that marital rape doesn't exist.
Nope.
No, marital rape.
You're not allowed to say no.
You can't grape your wife because graping your wife would require your wife to say no, and your wife can't say no.
She has to be a submitted Christian wife, and that means that no's not part of the vocabulary.
Yes, exactly. And so, but that's the thing that makes sexual purity essential for their envisioned social order to work. And so it doesn't work. And here's the thing: the sexual shaming aspect manufactures a dependency on religious authority. That dependency on religious authority, those drowning in guilt require pastoral lifelines, which make it wrong. And so, most crucially, however, sexual control ensures reproductive compliance. And that compliance is what drives the Reconstructionist movement to become so viscerally patriarchal, which means that, those types of people will see people like me, a trans woman, as woke. and counter to their Reconstructionist movement.
Well, yeah, because you're not creating children.
No, I'm not breeding followers. And now, in their mind, I need to detransition, go and find a woman, and then create babies to turn into soldiers, which I will never do.
So those of us who don't have any plumbing anymore or it no longer works, are we just, disposable? Is that how that goes?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Good to know.
Yeah, I it's very sad that that's where that is, but yes, that's exactly.
I think we're meant to teach the young ones, the younger women, how to stay happy at home is our job.
Oh, well, I'm not
going to
going to
Paul.
teach anybody that.
I don't know. I'd rather teach them to be happy at home and avoid their husbands. Is that?
Yeah, to be happy at home to kick that prick out.
I mean, you're not wrong about that.
Mm.
Well, Rob, it's interesting you say that because there are already states where ICE has come into certain communities, and those communities have fought back. It's already happened, I think, in Louisiana. It's happened somewhere in Texas, and I want to say it's happened in Arizona already once. Eileen could probably confirm that. But Eileen, we all care. I mean, literally, we all give a shit. That's why we meet together every night to talk through all this shit. Yeah, to talk through all this shit because we care.
Yeah. People know what's going on, so they know how to stop it, how to recognize it. That's what worries me is people don't understand that this is something people have been taught in homeschooling. All those kids that went to homeschool, they've been taught this version of history and this version of Christianity that is not real. And educating them can help get a lot of them out of it. But we have to know where they're coming from before we start trying to move them out to a better position.
Right. Well, I again, you're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
You're really not. But this was beautiful too, by the way. So I did not write this into the story today, which I will tell everybody at 5 o'clock. If you're a subscriber, read the 5 o'clock afternoon bar story because that bar story is a fictional story wrapped around all the shit that happened in the news today.
Oh, cool.
So it is a great way to ingest what the fuck happened in the news today without actually having to read the news and be depressed about it. But I left this out. Joe Rogan has attacked Kash Patel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over Kash Patel's claims about Epstein. So, I mean, the divide in the MAGA community over the Epstein files is getting really deep. And so now members of the MAGA movement are eating other members of the MAGA movement. Yeah, Julie, that's the purpose of the story, is to sort of remind everybody that at the end of the day, when you get to 7:45, I'm going to get on live, and if all of y'all want to come in here and yell and scream into whatever device you have, I will literally let you do it, so that we can get through I can't get through this shit without you guys. We can't get through this shit without each other. I tell that to everybody every night because that's how the fuck it is. But here's the other big thing that happened. The Justice Department has granted Ghislaine Maxwell limited immunity. So limited immunity. What the fuck does that mean? They're not going to prosecute her for admitting things that knows about because she did those things.
I think it means we're going to find her hanging in her cell sometime, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, but she will have committed suicide. We'll all agree on that, right?
Fuck.
Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. She's having her ass beat in some game. I'm not playing with them.
Alexander told you it was a trap. I saw them. I did not see them.
Well,
Don't-
and with the story breaking, I think Lady Liberty mentioned it in chat about. By the way, Lady Liberty, I really enjoyed your piece today about Ruth Ellis. I'm a true
Yeah.
crime nut. So when I saw Ruth Ellis, I thought of the British woman that was executed back in the 50s. I had never heard of the Ruth Ellis that you wrote about. It was really interesting. And I appreciated reading about her. Anyway, the executive order about mental,
Yeah.
Right.
being able to uh, confine people if they're homeless or if they're perceived to have. I mean, it was Ronald Reagan that emptied all the institutions back in the 80s because he didn't want the taxpayers to have to continue. And I'm not saying that the system that they had under, before that was all that great, but the idea was supposed to be that there were community, mental health initiatives so that people wouldn't have to be institutionalized. And that never went anywhere.
No.
So I find it really ironic that Trump is now wanting to, lock people up again when it's obvious that that's not going to work either. Although if they're going to start locking us up for being LGBTQIA, what the hell? 3 hots and a cot, right?
See, my
Uh,
son works with developmentally disabled, and he said that he's getting notices from the company he works for that they might have to close their houses down because of the Medicaid cuts. So we have adults who can't take care of themselves that are being taken care of now, and we might have them all thrown out on the street too.
Mm-hmm.
right. So here's the thing about that. So the executive order says that states now have the right to appropriate homeless people. And here's the other thing. And people of certain mental illness. So I will tell you the trans community is viscerally upset about this, and here's why. Part of Vaught's initiative against Project 2025 is to label being trans as
Mental illness.
mentally ill. And so I think that they're trying to backdoor the ability to appropriate trans people and in a way that is not at all healthy. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That somebody comes into this house looking for me because I'm a trans person, and they think that that's mental illness. They ain't seen nothing yet.
No, just give
I'm grabbing a
him
sword
Craig's a
off the
grin.
wall. I'm grabbing a sword off the wall, and people are going to lose appendages before that happens. It's going to suck. But and so that's the thing is like, what can they backdoor with the executive order over homeless people against what is mental illness? And so a lot of people are really like upset about that. And so, but here's the thing: now a third federal judge has blocked the birthright citizenship order.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rob. See, I mean, we're not even kidding. And as a trans woman, I tell you, I live in a constant state of fear now. I check the Ice Block app on my phone because I have the Ice Block app for detaining events, and I did the other day here locally, and within 4 miles there were like 9 ICE events, and they were all like it wasn't great. And yeah, I agree with Rachel that the homeless, population that are trans because they were kids that were kicked out of the house because their parents won't support them. Yeah, those people are now at risk, and it's wrong to do that.
I know a lot of people are going to get a very rude awakening. I mean, people are so heartless toward the homeless right now. It's like they don't even realize so many people are like 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless themselves. You know, they don't realize how quick. I had to go to urgent care the other morning, right, for the bronchitis. I got the bill yesterday, and it was like $2,000. I mean, I have insurance, so I'm not going to have to pay all that, but what do people do that don't have insurance? I mean, it's just people have stopped caring about anybody but themselves, and they're not understanding how vulnerable all of us are when we don't have systems
Well,
to,
I
to
mean,
support everybody.
I hate to break it to you, but you're talking to a person that doesn't have health insurance.
Well, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like,
Yeah. you're
Well, part of
talking
this
to a person.
too
Yeah.
is the more vulnerable we are, the more likely we are to isolate and try to protect ourselves. So the less we share, so the more and they take that stuff away in part to make us all withdraw from each other, because the more vulnerable that we are, the less we try to help each other. The little more limited we are in helping each other.
mhm.
It's all part of the plan as far as I'm concerned, which makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist. And I always teased my husband for being one, and now I'm one. I don't know how it happened. I guess it's an age thing. The older you get, the more you see it.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, no, I mean, there have been times when I didn't have help. I'm lucky. I've been in my current job. I've been there for 18 years, and I have pretty much Cadillac benefits, really good
No.
insurance, all that kind of thing. But there have been times when I did.
When I was diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, I used up all of my inheritance from my dad on medical bills, and didn't
Right.
get anything out of my inheritance except for doctor visits.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
So health insurance, health inequity, as much as wage disparity in this
Yep.
country, is a complete and total disaster.
Yep.
It's a horrible experience. I mean, one of the reasons that my priestess Grove leader Wino was like, Wendy, you don't have health insurance. You need to put up a GoFundMe. And I did. I refused to share it with people because I'm just I can't advocate for myself and I won't do it. And so like every couple of days or whatever, she'll send me a message like, are you getting that out? Oh, I'll just lie to her and say, yeah, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
But I will do it. But yeah, so as a person with no health insurance right now, yeah, if something happened, if something happened tomorrow. But for the most part, most of my medical conditions are medicine controlled. And as long as I can keep getting my meds, then, I'm okay
Mhm.
until I can score another info security job. But
Well, and the people who are completely, blockading any effort to make things move forward, they have health insurance for life.
Mm-hmm.
right,
I mean, they made damn sure that they are covered for life.
Oh
right.
yeah.
So it's you can get me started.
But I want you to get started because then you'll get, all gushy and wet and
I swear to God.
and
Ah,
then and then and then
you think more
I'll
about my
remind you
lady
that
parts than these assholes on the sidewalk who are always asking me if I just want to have sex all the time, and that's why
Elaine, I'll
I
remind you that I
have
know that
abortions.
I'll remind you, Elaine, that I know this really cute girl that lives not far away.
And I'll remind you that, like I said, I'm a good sister, a good daughter, a good friend, and a shitty girlfriend. Hmm. Like I said, you don't want to
I'm
be
sorry,
involved.
Lisa. I keep trying. Okay.
It's okay. I don't want poor Elaine to feel like you're pushing me on her either. So
Well,
I am not necessarily a catch.
I don't mean to imply that.
Oh no! Hold on a second. Whoa,
Just
whoa, whoa,
saying,
whoa!
I'm not a cat myself.
Exactly. I
Hold
understand
on.
you saying that. I do.
Hold on. The only bitch that's allowed to self-deprecate themselves in this live is me. That's how it works. Okay.
Eileen pretty
I
much
can
says she's not a good
self-deprecate.
girlfriend. Can't I agree that I'm not a good girlfriend?
No, you can't. You're not allowed to agree to that.
Mm.
No, you can't.
You've never been my girlfriend. How would you know?
I'm a mother. I know.
Uh-oh, Eileen just called me a catch.
Yeah, the
Not
Yeah.
horse
the other
chicken.
Eileen, yeah.
The only person that's here's the rules, okay? Rules. The only person that's allowed to say they're ugly, unattractive, or not beautiful in any way, that happens to be me. I'm allowed to say that. Fuck
Hey,
all of
listen,
y'all doing it.
did you see that? Did you see that post I made where I tagged Dana about her piece about men staring at her daughter?
Yeah.
I posted a picture of myself when I was 14, and I mean, I look like a laboratory specimen. It was hideous. Um, and for a second, I thought, do I really want everybody to see what I looked like when I was 14? But the one guy that commented on her, and he made me so mad because he just was like tribalizing, trying to divide women from each other even worse. And it's like, oh fuck you, you know. So anyway.
Well, I had a reader. I will share this experience. I had a reader recently contact me and ask me if I were a trans woman, why do I not look feminine enough? And it really hurt. It took me a day to get over it. Um, because she was like, "Well, you don't look like a woman," and shit, okay. And so I had to give her trans 101. And so, she's like, are you on hormones? Yes. I can prove that I'm on hormones. I've got, a year's worth of estrogen that I take every day. And so, she was like, oh, okay, well, how long have you been transitioning? And I told her. And she was like, oh, um, well, have you had breast surgery yet? And I'm like, no, that's expensive. That costs a lot of money. And then she was like, oh, well, have you had other procedures? Yes, I have. I'm not going to tell you what those are. And so, like,
I
I
was
went
just gonna
back and forth.
say, you didn't owe that bitch any explanations.
Well,
I've had
here's the thing.
people tell me I don't look, feminine enough, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Oh my God.
I don't want to be feminine. I mean,
Look, no, don't say, no, don't say that. Don't say
I
that.
mean, that's more ways of trying to divide women from each other, get them, you know.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's exactly my point. My point is I was talking to this person to try to get this person to understand that what you are doing is causing division in gender groups, and that's bullshit. You can't do that. And so, Rob, because here's the thing, if you come to our lives enough, you will know that I am a complete glutton for punishment. I put up with a viscerally large amount of abuse from people, and I just I put up with it. And so, I went back and forth with this person for like an hour. And, the person at the end basically told me, I'm never going to see you as a woman. So I think you should stop identifying as a trans woman on your lives. And I told her, I'm like, that's your
Because
opinion.
I'll never see you as a woman. That means that you should take that opinion as, received wisdom and, oh, okay, well, geez, what was I thinking? Jesus Christ, does her ego fit in her fucking head? Jesus.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't call her ugly. I didn't call her out. I didn't tell her, you know, any of
Well, I
those
mean,
things. I just,
that's
because I,
another thing. Women are much harder on each other. I mean, men can be dicks, but women are much harder on each other.
oh yeah.
than Men
I
are.
mean, I got halfway through that conversation. I legitimately felt this fucking tall and felt completely shitty about myself.
Mhm.
But that's the thing. I mean, I put up with a lot of that. I mean, I went out today and I went into an area of town that is decidedly red, and
Mhm.
I deal with people staring. I deal with people. I walked into a Starbucks because you expect Starbucks to be like a safe space, right? So I walked into a Starbucks and the Starbucks lady was like, "Oh my God, I love your shirt. What's your shirt?" And I'm a journalist. This is my journalism deal or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, are you a journalist?" And I said, "Yeah, I write news stories and I write content for people." And yeah, Sharon, I completely agree. And so she was really nice, and she even told me, she was like, "You know what? You look really cute in that outfit," or whatever. Oh, okay, great. So I felt good about that. But all the other people in the Starbucks were very intolerant people who were all giving me the stink eye and one of those things walked in here or whatever. And so the appointment that I had was at a financial office, and I walked in there and I got hate eye and stink eye from people and all this other shit. And so, I was just like, well, fuck it. Okay, fine. But I mean, I, my, I tell people I have boar hide thick skin. I mean, you're really going to have to do something to get on my nerves. So, I mean, I could take a lot, but yeah, I sat on this DM with this woman for like an hour, just trying to, because that's the thing. If I'm faced with somebody like that, and I can convince that person that this is my experience, this is what it's like for me. If she understands it, then maybe she'll be able to, educate other people. But the fact of the matter is, by the end of the conversation, I was like, this person's not going to change their opinion, and they're probably going to be more viscerally, disgusting to me in the future. And so, um, I went out and saw if they were a subscriber. They weren't. They're no longer a subscriber. Just going to tell you, because I don't want people like that reading our work because they're just going to question it. Um, yeah, Rob, see, I'm just going to tell you, the next time we do a live and you come on, I'm going to expect you to come in here in Elaine's spot so that we can talk, because I totally want to hear you talk. We won't do it tonight, but if I see you again, I'm going to invite you to co-host. Gosh, and we're up to 123 people.
Oh, wow. A lot of people don't have much to do on a Friday night.
I mean, if it were Friday night, I mean, I'd be drinking, my uh uh oh, and Sinmac, I definitely want you to come into the live soon. I will say, as a Hallmark, Sinmac became a paid subscriber recently, and I was very happy about that, because Sinmac, if I could get Sinmac to explain why they became a paid subscriber, I would totally rock with that. But um um Rob, see, ladies, tell Rob how we run the pub, please, because I do it so much.
Well, you pick on people, have them talk to you for 5 minutes. They get to ask a question, and you'll give them the answer. That part,
Yeah,
or the 3
no,
months that they show up, or
Yes.
Rob, we're all just a giant family here.
we only pick on you on Tuesdays.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Rob, I've had Rachel on, and Rachel says they're introverted and shy, but I did not get that impression. So don't listen to Rachel tell you that they're shy and introverted, because I don't believe it. Take a look. I try. I really do try. It doesn't always work, but I really do try my best. Um, um, I really do try my best. So we're right at the top of the um, hour.
Yep, 8:30.
So, do you ladies have a?
I got a little
No, don't listen to her.
Got a what?
She's bitching about some game that they're
Oh, okay.
playing. I could tell really bad lesbian jokes to fend it out. Hey, Lisa, do you know what you call a lesbian with big hands?
No, tell me.
Well hung.
I can palm a basketball almost.
Why do lesbians build shelves?
Why?
To hold up their shoulders?
Yeah, exactly. I'm there too.
I don't get that one.
Yeah, me
How
either.
did two lesbian women decide their differences? Rock, paper, scissors?
I don't get that one either.
Scissoring, the whole scissoring thing. Oh my God, really? You know what gay cows eat, right?
What?
Hey. I know, Rob. See, I'm very bad. My
Can I?
joke.
Okay, this is not a lesbian joke, but the thing about the cow reminded me of the little jingle that swept the United States, and I think in the 30s. It's
Okay.
carnation milk, the best in the land, comes to your house in a red and white can. No tits to pull, no sit to pitch, just punch a hole in the son of a bitch.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
I only really remember one joke, and it's
Okay.
very old. And
Mhm.
a man runs into a bar. He goes, "Quick, how tall's a penguin?" The bartender goes, "Oh, I don't know, maybe this tall." Guy goes, "Oh God, I just hit a nun."
No.
I told you guys the one about the nun and the cab driver, right?
Yes.
Elaine, were you not here for the nun and the cab driver?
No, I don't think so.
So a nun gets into a cab and she's talking to herself, and she's talking about how, as a nun, she's about to go off to a convent and she's never experienced anything. And so the uh so the cab driver's like, "Oh, what haven't you experienced?" And the nun says, "Well, I've never had sex before." And so the cab driver like lightens up. "Oh, really? Okay." And so she says, I would love to do it before I go off to the convent and take my vow of celibacy." And the cab driver was like, "Okay." And so the nun says, "But there are three conditions. One, it can't be with a married man. Two, um, it has to happen right now. And three, it has to be anally so that I can retain my virginity." So the cab driver's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do the back door. I'm not married. I'll pull over right now. Let's do it." And so they pull over and they go to town. So as they are putting their clothes back on, the cab driver looks at the nun and says, "Look, honey, I got to be honest with you. I got a wife and three kids at home." And the nun says, "Yeah, I got to be honest with you too. My name is Frank and I'm on my way to a costume party."
I'm not the world's most passionate man. La, la, la,
I'm
la,
gonna get killed in the
la,
chat for that any second because the chat's gonna catch up.
la.
Oh no.
Gertrude probably wants a penguin robe.
That was oh, I'm so disappointed. I put a keep it going post in notes the other day.
Mhm.
It's like, what the hell is this? You people have never heard of Maxwell's silver hammer?
I didn't realize Sinmac just said they're in Atlanta.
Oh dear.
Oh,
That's neat.
Let's find out if Sinmac is even close to me. Eileen, good night. Oh. Oh, okay, Sinmac. Here's how it is, okay? I live in Eastlake, about half a mile south of Kirkwood. I'll put it this way, Sinmac. The Fellinis over on Sycamore and Commerce Drive, I eat there at least twice a month.
thank you, Rob C. I feel vindicated now.
So, Sinmac and I can hang out for real life. Yes, Sinmac and I can hang out for real life, especially if they live in the city of Decatur. Which is crazy. But anyway, all right, well, cool. Ladies, anything else this evening? We made it up to 130 users, so yay.
Oh,
Yay.
yay!
So, I'm gonna on church, Sinmac. I'm a mile away from that. I'm literally Sinmac. You know the golf course where they played the PGA Championship like 6 months ago? I am literally a block away from that course. East Lake Golf Course or whatever.
This cat's meowing.
Oh no, that's my kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my kid's meowing at the cat, so it's not you. All right.
That
Ladies,
must be why my cat's not looking interested about it.
So anyway, ladies, I'm gonna let you both.
Bye-bye.
Elaine, love you as always.
Good night. Night, everybody.
Night.
Lisa, always the same. So gosh, with that, thank you everyone. We had another chart topper. Oh my God, Brick Store in the Square, Sinmac, that's awesome. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite spots in Decatur. Although I will tell you, my other favorite spot is Sushi Avenue because I'm a sushi person. I love sushi a whole shit ton, and so that's really really cool. Well, all right. So anyway, I thank you everyone. Thank you for coming. If you're a new person, please subscribe. We're all fun here. We run the pub as a family because I can't do this without you guys, and we can't do this without each other. That's how we get through all this shit together. That's how we survive this, is if we stay strong together in one. Yeah, Sinmac Twain's is like my favorite pool hall, and I'm a pool player. You know, before I was a trans woman, so that's why I like to go over there. Gosh, Sinmac, we probably run into each other, and you never knew it was me. Anyway, so with that, I will tell everyone, I love you all. Stay safe out there. Get there, stay there. You know, if you're in a safe space, um, um, oh yeah, if you're ever in town, Rachel, just let me know. We'll work it out. You can come here if you want. Anyway, I love you all. Please, again, be safe. Take care of yourselves. And then tomorrow we might have a live ad hoc or whatever. But if not, I'll see everybody on Sunday.